Welcome to another Fear No Fix video. Today we're working on a 2004 Ford F-150 with a 5.4 liter engine. Today we're replacing the heat door actuator, which you may need to replace if you've got a B0229, a B0414, or a B3770 code.
The blend door actuator moves a blend door inside your HVAC system, which mixes cold and hot air. So if your actuator is not working, you might find that you're only getting cold, you're only getting hot air, and you just can't change the temperature inside the cabin. This is a pretty easy fix, no real special tools, maybe something for prying on the trim, and a couple of tight spaces, but nothing you can't handle. Let's go. The blend door actuator is just behind the radio. We're going to remove the stereo, we're going to get this trim out of the way. We're also going to move the glove box down just out of the way. We're not going to remove it fully. We're going to get started by removing the battery, but before that, if you have power adjustable passenger seats, you better move them back now. Let's go get the battery. We'll loosen the 8mm bolt, disconnect the ground cable, and place it aside. We'll start by removing the trim around the stereo. You start by opening the cup holder and prying right on these two corners right here. Next, we're going to pry the trim out. Ideally, you'll have some sort of specialty automotive trim clip tool. Most people aren't going to have this. You don't necessarily need to buy one. You can use just about anything to pry in here, but you don't want to use anything metal because there's a good chance you're going to scratch up your trim or your panels and you're probably going to damage it. If you've ever taken apart a phone and you have one of these iPhone or Android repair kits, or if you have any sort of electronics repair kit around your house, you might also have one of these. Sometimes they're called a plastic pry tool or a spudger or something like that. These work really well for prying these trim pieces out as well. So from the bottom, just apply a little bit of tension and then just pry upwards, releasing the clips. So our trim is loose. First, we're going to disconnect the light for this passenger airbag warning up here. There's a wire just in the top right. If you follow it back, there's a clip you can press on, and then you can slide it just towards the passenger side, and it comes out. Next, we've got these three connectors here. Unplug the cigarette lighter by pressing the tab on the brown connector and pulling it out. To remove this connector, press down on the black tab, slide the gray locking arm up, and pull out. This power connector, there is a tab right here. Pull out on it, slide up, and we'll place this aside. Remove the four 7mm bolts that are holding the radio in place. Now the stereo just slides out. And we've got two connectors to undo on the back. Depending on your trim level, you might have more connectors, but they're all pretty straightforward. Just press down on the tab and pull. Your antenna cable can just be pulled straight out. And now we'll place the radio aside. Now we're going to move the glove box out of the way. We're not going to remove it. We're just going to open it, press in the top right here, just a little, and this will allow us to drop it down out of the way. The actuator is held in place with 3 bolts. 2 of them are accessible through here, and then the third one we're going to get by coming up through the glove box on an angle like this. Remove the connector by first sliding out the red tab. Then press down and pull out to remove. Now we're going to remove the 2 8mm bolts. We'll get the third bolt through the glove box. It's a bit of a tight angle. This is the bolt right here. we're going to come in through the glove box with our wrench. And we finally got it. Now, with the 3 bolts off, we just lift up and remove the old actuator. Now we're going to install our new actuator. Same way the old one came out, just slide it in and then drop it down. Now we're going to replace the 3 bolts. Now we'll replace the glove box. Same as before, just push in right here and release, and you can close it. Reinstall the radio, plug in the antenna, plug in the stereo, replace the 4 7mm bolts, now we're going to reinstall our trim piece. So we've got our power connector, cigarette lighter, HVAC controls, slide that down, clicks in place. Passenger airbag connector, this is going to slide in sideways like that with the clip facing backwards. And then we're going to reinstall the trim. Sometimes these tabs can get a little bent out of shape. If they are, just kind of pull on them, bend them back into shape. All right, let's hook up the battery and then test out the heater. Let's hook up the ground cable. Nice and hot. So that's it. The heater's working properly again. Got the trim back in place. The hardest part was probably just getting your hands in through the glove box.
If this video helped you, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. And remember, until next time, fear no fix.